You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday night, and you may be able to hear a slight humming in the background. That is my humidifier, which I am not turning off. The humidity in my house has varied greatly between 10% and 5%, neither of which is acceptable, comfortable, or will probably even sustain human life. So the humidifier runs. These things take longer than they may seem, so waiting between the furnace kicking on and off and the humidifier kicking on and off, hopefully I have the gain set right so you hear the voice as much as you want to, and maybe not the HVAC systems in the background. So I've had all day to think about this episode, and it should be smooth as silk, butter, whatever you prefer, margarine if you are lactose intolerant, but it's not happening the way I expected it to. The day was much busier than I anticipated, to the good. Lots of good things came out of the day. It went by quickly, work-wise, day job-wise, but then there's all kinds of distractions. You get home and you get texts and you get calls and emails and I need this, I need that, I need this, you have to do this. I'm like, fuck off. I need to sit down and talk to my friends. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm making that call. So last night, I did a kind of a reveal on the new book. Put the cover out there. It's pretty close to what you'll see in the bookstores and online. It's got some tweaks to be made, maybe some font selections. That might change. I think it will. Just the way the title looks. It isn't quite there. It's 90%, but we're shooting for 100. But I announced the book, kind of told people a little bit, gave you a little bit of a teaser as to what it was about. And I have never been so overwhelmed with kind messages, kind comments. I mean, the first book was tough to write because the subject matter was in my face, and it was having to admit that, hey, yeah, I got a disease, a condition, something I never wanted, and it paved the way for me to make some massive, massive bad calls, bad ideas, bad things, and the difference is that book, I knew if I wrote it as I lived it, it was going to have a happy ending. No doubt about it, because if I did the work and approached people the proper way, things would be better. And by the end of that book, everybody could be happy, they could close it and move on happy, because that happily ever after is kind of how it's working out. This one's a little different. It's a lot different. It doesn't have the storybook happy ending. The good guys don't win. We don't ride off into the sunset. You don't get the girl. It's tragic because what happened, I mean, the book is about losing my dad. And the title, You Must Be Dick's Boy, there's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that in a second. But how do I make something so tragic and awful a positive experience for the reader, you, and for the writer, me? Losing someone that you care about deeply is not pleasant. It's not a great experience. It's not a learning experience that you ever want to go through. So now how do I put together all these stories, put together some information, some some thoughts that I've put together over the last few years, almost 3 years already. Jesus. The longest, shortest 3 years of my life. That sounds stupid, but if you've ever lost someone, you'll understand exactly what I meant. Longest, shortest 3 years of my life. Now to put these thoughts and these stories together in a cohesive manner, tell good stories, share the emotions and the feeling and describe the situations properly. It is a motherfucker. It is not fun to write about. It's not fun to think about, but I think if I do this properly, it'll help me kind of wander through it a little bit and maybe help you guys as well. But I know I have to get this one out. This one has to get written and published and out and on the shelves. I don't know if I'll do a book tour with this one or not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it comes out. We'll see how the audio test reads go. I don't know. It is, until I start reading it into the mic, I have no idea how I'm going to react. So we'll try. We'll definitely try, because the audio book actually is what propelled the last book to the heights that it reached. So I know it should be done. Maybe I'll hire someone to read it. Might have to do that. But, all options are open. And one day, I'm going to write a book about something fun and light and easy. Won't that be something? But it isn't this one. So the title, You Must Be Dick's Boy. And that title has been told to me by I don't know how many people until one day it finally sunk in. Stop and take the shot. That book is still going to be written, still be done. But this one, You Must Be Dick's Boy, has to come first. Got to give my friend Henry a shout out on that title. He's the one that gave me the testicular fortitude to choose it. He's like, it's your book. It's a perfect title. It says what it needs to say. Go with it if you love it. I do. So that's what it is. And where it came from is when I moved back to Alpena from Charlevoix, I saw a lot of folks that I knew growing up. And I spent a lot of time with my dad when I was growing up, especially from high school on. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but these people that worked with Dad, were friends with Dad, they saw Dad and I together. And so as time goes by, you tend to look more and more like your parents. And there are people that you haven't seen in 25 years, but look at you and they smile and you smile back. And as soon as you do, they say, you must be Dick's boy. And at 52 and a half at this current reading, 52 and a half, I'm holding on to that half. It's funny when you're a little kid, that half means a lot. And when you're an old man, it means a lot as well. So 52 and a half, probably not much of a boy anymore, but that's how they see me. They remember Dad and they remember me as a kid. And so, I guess I will always be Dick's boy. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. I'm my mother's son, and I'm Dick's boy, and it's all these good things that come out. Well, once they tell you and they figured it out, it doesn't take long to figure out if I'm Dad's kid or not, but once they do, all of a sudden, they need to tell me a story that they loved about Dad, something that they did together or an impact he had on them. And like a flash of lightning, it switches from, I'm really sorry about your loss, to you are now, instead of the patient, you're the therapist, and they miss him. There are so many people that miss him. And it's my sister is the one that pointed it out to me the first time at Dad's celebration of life about how many people were seeking healing from her and I, as opposed to just handing out the condolences. And what a testament that is to Dad, that he had that kind of impact on people, that everybody felt the loss. So maybe that's this calling. That's what this book is for. I'll tell you some stories, share some things about what happened and how it went. Some fun stories as well. And maybe I can help with that healing of your loss. That's the idea. It won't be exact. The recovery book wasn't about everybody. Everybody doesn't take the same path. Grief is not linear from my experience so far. And I've read enough about it that it's not a linear experience. There may be 5 stages. That's one theory. You are going to bounce back and forth between all 5 more often than once. So my goal with this book is to walk you through some very hard moments so that you know you aren't alone. I'm going to walk you through some mildly difficult moments and frustrating moments so you know you're not alone. I'm going to walk you through some moments that I felt some incredible guilt so you know you're not alone. Are you picking up on the trend here? You're not alone. This grief thing is a bastard. There's no good way to put it, but we get through it together. No doubt about it. How about that, together? Isn't that something? That's something Dad said to me. That'll probably be in the book. So I'm going to keep this one short. It doesn't have a lot of impact as far as your daily dose. It's not profound. I just wanted to talk about the book, the title. It'll be out in May. And as we get closer, you'll find the date and you'll understand why I picked that day. So I'm going to finish up with a big wad of gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for all the kind comments, the likes, the hearts, the good stuff on social media, the awesome comments, the anticipation, the private messages. It's overwhelming. And the impact that Dad had that makes you guys want to read about it is incredible. So thank you for that. Also, I'm going to throw a kind of a disclaimer out there. I am not a grief counselor. I did not go down that path. I want to write this book and share some good stuff with you. Hopefully it helps. But I'm not a professional. I'm not a savior. If you're really having a hard time, get help right away. Don't wait. There's your permission. Go do it. There's your directive. Go do it. If you need help, get it. Maybe this can be a supplement later, but grief is nothing to mess with. And that's why I'm being so careful when I write this so that you enjoy it. It's a fun read. It's going to be a strong one. But when you're done with it, you will understand the process that is called grief, how to manage it a little bit better or at all, and it's okay to go seek some help. So that's it. That's it for tonight. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for listening, as always. And yesterday, thank you for blowing my mind. That response was incredible. So thank you very, very much. And we will talk again soon. Thanks so much. Have a great night.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/ARTS. Just go to Indeed.com/ARTS right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.